Really?
Uh-huh. This was in like 2010.
So sticky.
That can't be enjoyable.
No.
It's not. It's not the... It's just the number. It's
the
just to have the
number.
record.
It's for the clout.
Yeah.
And then you go through, 6 weeks of reconstructive surgery to put your spleen back in place.
Yeah, it's for the herbs.
I guess,
I'm
man.
out.
I don't get it.
My
hard
gosh.
out.
Can you imagine being a 1300 dude like, this feels so...
You don't feel anything.
No.
Yeah.
You feel the ice because they're packing her
No.
vag because it's burned.
Oh.
I mean, they're doing it on site. They're having to put ice packs on her cooch because the friction's so bad. It's blistering. It's just...
My God.
1,300 dudes.
I'm out. Hard out.
That's a lot of fucking.
Yeah.
Hard out.
In 6 hours.
I'd be like, can you guys do it as fast as you can?
They are. That's the problem.
Oh.
That's why there's friction burns. This isn't a gentle, long, 1 hour long fuck.
Yeah.
It's 1,300 dudes in 6 hours.
I'm uncomfortable.
Jesus.
Can we start talking about nursery rhymes?
I just don't want to be the dude in line trying to keep my...
Hello, Free Rotation Nation, and welcome to this week's podcast where we're going to talk about nursery rhymes and their dark and jaded history.
Darkness.
So you think you're teaching your kid a sweet little song to learn words, and what you're teaching them is really dramatic and violent bloodshed.
I feel like it's more of a history lesson.
It's history.
It's just a history lesson that no one bothers to look up. It's like you're just passing down oral traditions and you don't know
Right.
why.
Yeah, because you hear us talk a lot about oral traditions and how, word of mouth, and I'm sure a lot of you that listen and think, that's back then. But no, it's now.
It's every day.
We may have forgotten what the history and tradition is, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Think about your favorite nursery rhyme. Becky, what's yours?
And now that I know, I hate you.
Here's the TikTok,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, in really, like TikTok has now destroyed everything that we find wholesome anymore.
That's a different podcast episode.
Yes.
That's one Bobby suggested like a year ago.
How TikTok destroys our. This is how. So mine is like Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden? Don't, Chris. How does your garden grow? I know now. Silver bells and cockle shells and
And what's all in a row?
pretty maids
Pretty
all in a
maids.
row.
Bobby, do you know what this one's about?
It's about sex.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, this is the Educate Bobby episode because
Again.
Bobby is the wholesome person who never used TikTok, and then we are the TikTok users who found out what it meant.
I still watch Vine compilations on YouTube. Like, I haven't caught up to TikTok yet.
Yeah, I still think Vine's better. But TikTok, you can fall down that hole
Yeah.
Quickly.
into one of Bloody Mary's graves, which is what this is about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So apparently it's all about like Bloody Mary and Mary Tudor, who was Mary the First and the Queen of England. And in her very short reign, she really fucking hated Protestants. So silver bells and cockle shells are not flowers like everybody thought. They were the torture devices.
Oh.
And the pretty maids all in a row were women she would set on fire when she found out they were Protestants.
She was very Catholic and did not like Protestants at all.
So the fact that this is you don't think about it because I never heard of a silver bell or cockle shell as a flower, but I figured it was some fancy British flower. But apparently a couple of these were like torture devices for like your penis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think
I'm
about
out.
what a
I'm
cockle
hard
shell
out.
is.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like the part that everybody misses out on is contrary. We think it means like to be against something. What it meant in Old English is murderer.
Yeah.
Mary, quite contrary means
Quite
she just
murderous.
kept killing people.
Yeah, I mean, you always wondered as a kid, why is she quite contrary? She's grown a lovely garden. And you think pretty maids are like the bluebells and stuff.
No, it's Mary Tudor. Why do you keep
I
killing
also think
people?
I think maids were also a torture device.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
also mean that too.
See, when I was a kid,
Like the Iron Maiden.
I wasn't very bright. It took me a while to get the whole tricks are for kids thing. It took me forever to get that.
There are 3 more nursery rhymes associated with Mary.
Okay.
Oh God.
3 blind mice.
Yes.
Because she would... So wait, how's 3 blind mice go?
See how they run? They all went up to the farmer's wife, and then she cut off their tail with a carving knife.
And they're blind. Because she put out the eyes of Protestants.
It was.
She would blind them, and then she would torture them, have them run around. And
You remember the Canterbury Tales from high school?
Yeah.
That guy who wrote it,
Yeah.
he was the one who got tortured.
Oh, he's a Protestant?
Yes.
Goddamn Protestant.
He also never got to finish the Canterbury Tales
Yeah.
if you weren't sure.
Yeah.
Why?
He tried to overthrow Mary the First, and she was like, "Oh hell no, bitches."
So, and you're familiar with Rockabye Baby?
Yeah.
In the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, cradle will fall, and down will come baby.
Cradle and
So,
all.
This is interesting. In order to oust the Catholics and bring the Protestants in, there was a baby that was born into this family. The baby was snatched away, and a Protestant baby put in its place.
Like a changeling?
Yes,
They told him it was his heir. It was King Henry.
Mm-hmm.
They told him it was his heir when it was actually I think it was the other way. I think they brought in a Roman Catholic baby.
Oh, to replace the
Protestants.
Oh my God.
So that the heir would be Roman Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And that when he became king, they could let him know, like, hey, you're not Protestant, bro. You've been Roman Catholic the whole time.
Yeah, you were christened a Catholic. And, of course, so, like, the people would sing it to themselves, like, in the bell breaks, the baby will fall.
Yeah.
And then it'll just bring down the whole monarchy.
Yep, that was the plan. Well, to change the whole monarchy, to get rid of the Protestants and bring back the Roman Catholics. England is
England is a fucky place.
well, most of their wars were all religion. It was the Protestants and Anglicans and the Catholics, and they did not get along at all back in the day.
Crusades and stuff, all religion.
And it seems like most nursery rhymes from that time period all have some sort of underlying influence of a religious tone.
Well, you say like from that time period, but what nursery rhymes are from our time period? Like these have all been just orally.
WAP is a fantastic nursery rhyme.
You can eat a dick. However,
She did.
Stir it like macaroni, okay?
Anyway,
that's a good vibe.
They're all, I mean, all of these are from like the thousands up to like the 14, 15, 1600s, and they've just been passed down orally forever.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to think about.
Impactful these were.
Well, they're easy to remember. They rhyme. They're nice little jingles, and it's how you teach. And I like it because it's how they used to teach history before the printing press and books. It was stories. It was the oral tradition, and that's what this is. It's
and
carrying that on.
How do you keep people from finding out? You word code
You hide it.
Yeah. So another one. What happened to Mary when Elizabeth took over from her? Where did Mary go?
She done got prisoned.
Where?
The Wakefield prison? I don't know. Oh, the Tower of London. The Tower of London. I'm
Which
dumb.
is where?
In London. England? What? Okay.
Tiny bridges falling
Oh,
down.
yeah. Okay.
I knew we'd get there.
Listen.
So that one, so London Bridges there's a couple different things they think it can be. It's that one. It's when the Saxons came in like 1007 and literally burned the bridge down to trap all the Londoners when they crossed it, so they could just go on a murder spree and no one could escape.
I prefer the human sacrifice version.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Well, take the keys and lock her up, and they're sacrificing her to the huge Karen figure. Like,
so it's Wicker Man.
Yeah, pretty much, because there are stories where they put women into here, lock her up, and she's just gone.
There's also rumors that when they were building the bridge, they believed in sacrifice and that they would use children and they would build up around the children as a sacrifice to ensure that the bridge would stay up. So you know how you play the game and you like running through two hands, like running around. So when it came down, it was that you were trapped.
Yeah, you're done for. And you know where a lot of the original London Bridge is? Here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's in New York, I think. They transferred
they
bunch of
did.
it over.
We did talk about
it's a
that.
fucked up haunted bridge. It's on Ghost Adventures.
Right. I think we talked about that where we were talking about the most haunted places at one point because you know we do like 37 of those episodes, but it's somewhere
It's an easy. We don't have an idea. Let's just do another haunted
Fuck
episode.
it, it's not a
Yeah.
And like this is one of those thoughts I've been having lately is so they used to sacrifice the children to basically ensure the bridge would be good. The Aztecs used to sacrifice whoever to ensure that the sun came up, and this is just it's a part of human tradition since we've been people. Like, we have this weird urge to sacrifice things to ensure other things, and I keep thinking about it, and I think, and this is gonna be a weird tangent, but I think we don't think we do it anymore because we're more like civilized now, but I think that's like an innate human trait, and we've just transferred it over to cancel culture. Like, we have to murder whatever brings someone else joy to make ourselves feel better or whatever. And I'm not saying that I'm against cancel culture or whatever, but I think it is part of who we are to keep. We got to kill. We got to cut these heads up so the sun comes up tomorrow. Like, and I think we've always done that.
The sun is not going to come up because we have to sacrifice in order to even be remotely happy.
Absolutely,
you have to give up.
It's just who we are inside, and it happens every day. And I don't care your political ideology or who you are, but both sides, every side of the aisle, they all do this. Like, if there's someone you dislike, you really want to go after their followers or and destroy them. And it's really weird, and it's just part of our psyche, and it's always been that way.
Built into our DNA now.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, every civilization throughout history you've heard of, I mean, they all had these huge sacrifices that were consistent and weird, but they kept doing it. And it's just who we are for whatever reason that part of our brain exists. And it's not gone. We just go about it a different way because, I mean...
It's illegal.
Well, here, even in the States, 1900s, we had public execution.
Yeah.
We had to have that to keep, I don't know if it keeps bloodlust down or keeps the people from going on murder sprees, but it's something that still exists.
Well, it's like the gladiator fights back in the day.
Yeah, we had to have that throughout history, and it's really weird to me.
And now it's football and all that kind of shit. And that's just to keep us... People were going crazy when we were having sports earlier last year. People were going nuts.
My heart rate and blood pressure came down when I didn't have to watch the Falcons lose every week.
That's fucking different. Well, no.
I mean, she's right.
As a Browns fan, this was a fantastic season.
Yeah.
How can I eat one?
No, I was happy. Fucking finally drafted a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's one of those weird, and I look at it the same kind of way. Like, it's tradition for us for whatever reason. It's how we transfer, I don't know, knowledge or keeping everybody at peace. The same way we do the oral tradition. We
I was
have
about
to
to
do
say,
this.
you could look at a nursery rhyme. This is a perfect simplification of what would happen in the past.
Yeah.
Like, some of these stories, I wouldn't have realized anything about Mary Tudor and her need to sacrifice Protestants and stuff like that if it wasn't for the fact that there's some needle of history that follows you from childhood.
Yeah.
And that's one of it.
It's really weird.
It really makes the secret... Okay, I used to love this movie, Secret Garden, and they would tease Mary, the girl from it, by singing Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. It really does put a dark spin on that movie now.
Is that the animated one?
No.
It was
the live-action 90s version. It was a classic in my house.
We used to roll that into the classroom when I was a kid and put it on the VCR in school. Best days ever.
I also loved science class. You saw the TV in there. Oh, we're watching Bill Nye today? Fuck yeah.
We're taking a nap today?
That intro to Bill Nye is too hype. I could not take a nap. They just got you jazzed up for fucking science.
Bill.
I know, it was so good. That's why when you got a show back, I was like, this remix fucking intro sucks.
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, but it was perfect the way it was. But yeah.
Bobby, what was your favorite?
Oh, Jack and Jill.
Okay.
Lord Jesus.
Jack
gotta
and
unpack.
Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down, broke his crown. Mary came tumbling after.
Jill
Or
came
Jill.
home.
Jill, sorry. We're talking about Mary.
Marry that bitch. She also wanted to fall down.
She's still here.
Fuck her.
She pushed him. That's how it works.
She probably did.
She shoved him and
Yeah.
took her lamb somewhere else. And
Yeah.
Oh, no, she was fucking that lamb. Anyway. But,
Well, this one, there's several interpretations. Do you know them?
no, I just...
Oh.
I thought one of them was like... Because I was reading like a mental floss article earlier today about it. And it's like they're starving and like they have to... Like, this is the only way they can get subsistence. And then they're just so exhausted after going up the hill. It's their only source of water and they just fucking collapse and fall.
Historically, they say that Jack and Jill are Marie Antoinette and Louis. So when he lost his crown, her head came tumbling after. And you read something different.
I paraphrase, but basically what it was is that it was King Charles' attempt to reform tax liquid measures. So when he reduced the volume of like to 1/2 1/4 pints, known as Jack and Gills. So it's not as fun of a thing because it's like a tax reform thing. I'd rather it be the Marie Antoinette and Louis the 16th version of it. But the thing they said is that Jack and Jill actually didn't originate until 30 years after Marie Antoinette's
Which would
downfall.
be historically accurate if you're going to sing about it. But there's another tax reform one.
Is
which
there?
is Baba Black Sheep.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you any... Well, go ahead.
so that one actually has another one too, other than the
does
tax
it?
reform one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is interesting. But it says, Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for the master, 1 for the dame, none for the little boy who lives down the lane. So there was a wool tax that was passed, and it was incredibly expensive. And it's how they taxed the people who didn't have any other goods to sell. So by the time you paid all the taxes,
All you got
you didn't have anything left for the little boys.
So the other one,
Is it dark and dreary?
it's just more like.
Oh.
The other one is the one I think is probably more likely. It's more about slavery. Again, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. 3 bags full is probably the black gentleman who's actually working on the farm because it literally
In the 1200s?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, throughout history, there's kind of been enslaving Africans forever. Also, he flat out calls him master in the thing, so they think it was more of an allegory for slavery, and the little boy down the lane was his son or whatever, like his family. There's nothing left at the end for them. This is not good. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't treat slaves well pretty much ever. Ever.
We ain't eating today.
I mean, I don't think Baba Black Sheep is necessarily racist. I think it's just there's a black guy working on the farm.
I feel like I also read that they've changed it to Baba Rainbow Sheep.
They have, and I refuse.
I refuse.
On
like
principle.
Rainbow? What?
I guess because it's a more
They play
encompassing.
Minecraft
Because
and named it Jeb. Like,
yeah, because the word black is taboo or whatever, and it's again whatever.
Just call me a honky and get it over with.
I mean, again, if it's something that
That's fair.
offends you, don't sing it.
Yeah.
Don't. That's kind of where it ends for me. Like, I'm not gonna call anybody a black sheep, like other than Tommy Boy, because
It was you.
Chris Farley's the man.
Yeah.
However, I just don't understand that aspect of.
Well, and it's kind of like the nursery rhymes that involve like tax reform. I'm like, these are really boring. That is such an English thing to have. Like, I'm going to teach my kids about tax reform.
So, but it was a huge thing.
I know.
yeah. What impacted your life? Your government
Well, I mean,
taxes?
even
Church?
here, the Boston Tea Party, they put a tax on tea, and we told them to kick rocks.
Sir, we have a modern Boston Tea Party going on right now. It's Harry and Meghan going on Oprah and spilling the tea.
I don't care about any of that at all.
Damn. That was still a good meme. I appreciated that meme.
The Royals do not interest me at all.
Well, I told my coworkers that because they were talking about it, I said, really, let's be honest. In America, when you get here, you don't bow to anything but guns and Jesus. That's all it works.
Well, and you know what? There's historically nursery rhyme evidence of how the British people feel about Americans in the form of Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yankee Doodle.
Yeah.
That we sing and act like it's wonderful.
Yeah.
No, didn't like the fucking Confederates sing that song and shit?
No, they called the
No.
Rebs called the Northerners Yanks, Yankee Doodles, but
But anyone coming to the New World was a Yankee. Like, we were Yankees. Yeah. And do you know what dandy means?
Gay.
Idiot.
Oh.
Stupa.
And so when you wanted to pretend that you were a lord, you would wear these fake powdered wigs they called macaroni. So Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony.
Which you also did not write. You rode horses, not ponies.
Yeah. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni, which meant he was pretending to be a lord. And we're like, Yankee Doodle.
It's just so catchy.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
these are passed down. They
And they
make
would-
them
Yeah.
on
Super
purpose.
catchy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
WAP.
Yankee Doodle, keep it up and let the girls be handy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So all the women over here were sluts too.
Say it's a bad.
Pose.
Well,
Our
again,
religion.
that's the thing is it's a Protestant versus Catholic versus Anglican thing. Again, like they really disliked us for leaving
Yeah.
because we didn't go with the Church of England or whatever.
We were heathens.
I mean, England has this weird. The whole UK has a weird thing with religion. It's really interesting, but it's insanity to me because I don't care one way or the other.
Then on the other hand, you have Rub-a-Dub-Dub, 3 Men
3
in a
men in a tub.
I like the Georgie Porgy one too, though. The one where they're like, that one definitely is about a guy who was in love with King James, or King James was in love with him, right?
Yeah, but he was just a serial rapist.
Yeah. And so, like, the reason why he was run off by the women, or run off by the men when the boys would come to play is because
Yeah.
the husbands were attacking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck them.
Consent meant nothing to him.
Well, again, if your royal consent means nothing anyways,
yeah.
that's not really a word they have to worry about.
He was
Yeah.
a rich man.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's your favorite nursery rhyme?
So this one, people don't think my favorite one ever that isn't a nursery rhyme now, but started off as a nursery rhyme is the Pied Piper. It was in German and it rhymes in German, but in English it does not. But it started off as basically a story. Pied means colorful in old German or whatever. So basically the idea was in the 1200s, the town of Hamelin in Germany had a bad rat problem. They couldn't get rid of them, blah, blah, blah. Piper came to town, said he could get rid of them all. He would do it for $1,000, whatever their money was, $1,000. They said sure. The mayor said sure. He led the rats out of town, went back to get payment. He drowned all the rats in the river is what happened. He played his magical flute. All the rats followed him. He led them in the river. They all drowned. He went back for payment. The mayor was basically like, we don't have any rats left, so we're going to give you $50 because that's all the work you did. So the piper, in a fit of rage, played his flute and let all the children out of town. And there are 3 kind of different endings to that as to which nursery rhyme it was. The first one was he also drowned the children in the river, which is kind of my favorite because, no one thinks about the Pied Piper. They see like a nice jaunty little man with a flute, not murdering 100 school children. The second one is he took them up on a hill that was called like Kabbalah Hill. It was kind of like a mountainy region. And he hid them until the town decided to pay him his money, and then he brought them all back.
That's a more wholesome ending.
And the third one is he basically sold them into slavery.
Oh.
That's my favorite ending.
To, we don't think about it, but there were huge wars going on in like Eastern Europe between the Danish and the Polish, and there's just these huge swaths of war
They
going
need
on.
fighters.
Yeah, I mean, they need fighters, and they also need people to work the land once they take it over.
Yeah.
So they really wanted children, so that's a big thing.
And children were taken a lot, not because they wanted your sperm.
Yeah.
Trophies,
they needed bodies.
Yeah, they needed fighter. They needed to raise them with no other affiliations except to
Well,
die.
I like the ending of that one because the irony is they did end up paying him with the money he got from selling their children. Like that to me.
Oh, he got his money
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
He made it
Well,
good money.
in all 3 endings, either the town paid one way or the other. They either paid him his money or they paid with all their children.
Yeah.
And what that part of the story that's interesting to me is there actually is a town of Hamelin in Germany. And the first recorded record of this town is in like 1386. And the first written record of the whole town is it's been 100 years since the children left. That's the first writing of the town.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God,
Yeah.
something happened. And all the children were either taken or led away or left because there was a thing back in the day. They were called locators. They were basically like recruitment officers that would go town to town, and they would try to recruit the children to go to other places to work and make money, because you couldn't take the elderly because they don't work so well. So they would try to take the kids to different lands that they had recently acquired. They'd offer them money or whatever, housing, so that they could go profit. So it's either the third option is the plague. So the story of the Pied Piper exists because the plague existed. So the reason it was rats is because,
Plague.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they needed him to come through and get rid of the rats so people would stop dying. So they think either it was a recruitment officer that took all the children, like the real story. Some version of the plague came through and killed them all, or they got what was called dancing sickness, and they all just left and never to be heard from again. So either way, whatever happened in Hamelin, at some point, all the children were just gone.
Yeah.
And no one's sure why.
I still think that dancing plague's fucking cool.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of dancing and plagues, there's the classic that Ring Around the Rosie.
Rosie.
Now, there's 2 versions to that, though.
Yep.
So the first one everybody kind of knows is that the Plague of England, the Ring Around the Rosie, is you'd get a rosy-colored ring around your body, and then you would put a pocket full of posies or into the dead body or into your pockets, because the reason
So you wouldn't smell.
you
the
wouldn't
stench.
smell,
Yeah.
and then ashes were the burning of the bodies. That's the Americanized version. There's another, I think it's a tissue in England, which is because you'd start sneezing, and then we all fall down as you die.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
dies.
But there's another version that says that allegedly Snopes says that this is not the original version. The real version is that back going to Protestants, when they had the ban on dancing, kids could do what were called ring parties, and it would be singing and dancing in a ring. So in order to kind of get around the dancing ban of the 19th century from the Protestants, they would make up these games and dance around a little.
So sort of
ring.
like dancing around a Mayday pole.
Yes. So it was a way to get around that whole thing. But Black Plague is a lot more interesting.
So what you're saying is Footloose is an adaptation of the 19th century ban.
It kind of is if you think about it, because there was a huge ban in early 19th century over the Protestants saying that you couldn't dance or make music, which is so fucking boring.
God bless Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon single-handedly made Ring Around the Rosie.
That motherfucker can
He's the
dance.
Pied Piper.
Jesus.
Oh my God. 8 degrees of separation for everything.
He
So-
didn't kill the children.
No, we have the Nursery Rhyme cinematic universe.
Yeah,
starting.
the Nursery Rhyme cinematic. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I really like Row, Row, Row Your Boat. It's one of the things when I would go to camp as a kid.
You sing it in rotation.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful. And it's also very meditative. Like, you could really get in that row,
Oh
row, row
man,
your boat
you ever
vibe.
sit when you're sitting in the car and you're just kind of doing it over and over, or like we would do it sitting in the golf cart driving around where we lived, and it would just be like it just keep going and
Yeah.
it just never stopped.
Yeah. Well, and Row, Row, Row Your Boat's kind of a metaphor for just how you should approach life. the stream of life. You rode gently, and then you get to the end and realize it was all just a dream anyway.
Oh my God, that's
Just
actually
what I always kind of thought. I'm like, this song is depressing and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also, so when you were first telling me about this, I was thinking you were going to tell me it was something like the River Styx or something like that.
It kind of is.
The Vikings coming to town to root and pillage.
Yeah.
And it's that's like a nice wholesome one. It's very sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
Everybody else's is like Black Plague and Death, and yours like...
But it's like, or do you get to the end and realize it was all a dream and you did nothing real in your life?
And that's how we know we live in a simulation.
Exactly.
I'm not sure that's how we know we live in a simulation.
Yeah. Maybe it's because of all the people freezing lately. Like you should get on TikTok more. But they're like driving through town and everybody's just frozen. I'm like, what is this, the mannequin challenge on like a global scale now?
That's
they're just
terrifying.
all frozen. And like they're frozen in ways that you can't really stop your body. I don't know how to explain it.
It's like that WandaVision shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They start
It is the Nursery Rhyme Cinematic Universe, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Disney Plus version.
Oh. I guess I do like the more American ones, like Oh My Darling Clementine.
Oh,
Very, very sad one.
Or I also like the ones where it's like Lucy had a locket?
Yeah.
Lucy had a locket and then she lost it from her pocket, but it's all about prostitution.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the girl who found it. So what happened is a pocket was your mark, like the guy who would come regularly and visit you in the brothel. Well, when she lost her pocket, he lost his money. So this other prostitute picked him up and was like, you know what? He'll come back into his money. So Lucy lost her pocket, her money
her
to
trick.
the other lady. Yeah. Because he did eventually, his fortunes turned back around, but she lost her pocket because she didn't want to see him when he was poor. To be fair, she's a prostitute.
Yeah.
I mean,
She needs to get paid for her
gotta
time.
get that cheddar.
You gotta make money.
But she was a highly sought after one, too. So, I mean, when you don't have the money, I don't got the time.
Yeah, I mean, legit, that's her
That's
job.
how I still think.
Absolutely.
Where's your paycheck, Becky? I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm busy.
I'm sorry. I only get paid monthly.
Another American one. I think this American was, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. And what happened to him?
It's actually an Irish. It's an Irish one.
Well, he went to bed and...
Bumped his head and couldn't get up in the morning.
No, couldn't. He didn't get up this morning.
So...
Was he
died.
drunk and
Yeah,
cracked
so
his
basically
brains?
it was supposed to be a cautionary tale to Irish men who would go out drinking that because it's raining, it's pouring.
Yeah.
It was talking about like when you get home, be careful when you drink because if you bump your head or get injured, you're not
getting
waking up.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to think, like, especially that kind of stuff. Back in the day, like, if you got a good scratch, it was a bad day. Like,
Yeah.
you might be dying.
You had a bad day.
If you had a toothache, I mean, I think about that a lot. Like, dentists were one of the most sought after things in history because if you got a toothache, it was almost
was gonna
always
kill
a
you.
death sentence. Like,
Right.
you either got to get it pulled out and then maybe die.
Because think how close your teeth are to your sinuses,
Yeah.
to your brain. Like,
Oh,
that's...
God.
Sinus infection is going to kill you.
Yeah, I mean-
Tonsillitis, dead.
That's one of those things that people don't think about now because we can just go to the dentist.
And get penicillin
Yeah.
or whatever. Knock
But
it out.
toothaches and diarrhea killed more people than everything else combined. When it's
Yeah.
like, I could just eat a banana, right?
That's our new metal name.
That I was about to say.
Toothaches and
I was about to say
diarrhea.
this is the name of the podcast episode is Toothaches and Diarrhea.
But,
Nursery rhymes for your health.
Yeah, Nursery. That's perfect.
I mean,
Nursery rhymes.
we know that because of school and teaching and books and history, but you have to think, like, when they were telling people this, they needed a way that they could remember it and learn it quickly, and they could pass it along. Like,
Right.
don't be drunk all the time or you're gonna clack your brains out, and if you...
Yeah.
a concussion will kill you. Like,
Right.
So, kind of moderation, bro.
And with Clementine, what the fuck are you walking around in wooden shoes? Too
Yeah.
big for you. Just go barefoot. Stop stepping above your station.
Yep.
Now your family's grieving for you because you wanted to wear shoes when you couldn't afford them. Like, stop.
Also, wooden shoes, you get splinters.
Yeah.
Not about that.
But Bobby, you mentioned one I really like, Humpty Dumpty. And will you recite that rhyme for us?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a
Great fall.
fall. I don't remember the rest
All
of
the
it.
king's
snapping.
horses and all the king's men
couldn't put Humpty
back
back together again.
Do you know who this is about?
I assume some monarchy.
Yeah.
I assume- yeah.
TikTok thing. Yeah.
That's my favorite one is they never
Yeah.
mentions him being an egg, and everybody has that, like, Disney version
Yeah.
of, like,
The
the
egg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a classic.
And you're like, that they never said he was an egg, right?
Right. So Richard, was Richard II or Richard III?
I thought it was Richard the First.
So that would have been
That's
Richard the
Richard Lionhearted.
Lionhearted.
It definitely
so
wasn't
no.
him.
Okay.
This was the incestuous one who was born.
The third?
Yeah, I think it was the third. And he was very deformed, very smart.
Yeah, had that long jaw.
Yeah,
like-
his back was hunchback. He looked like an egg. His body was shaped. Horrible scoliosis. So everywhere he went on a horse named Wall. So out on the battlefield one day, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And what happens when you fall off your horse in the middle of battle?
You're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Not
they're
only that,
gonna-
but when you're already deformed and you
Yeah,
have bad
you can't get up
scoliosis, and
it
over.
was he was done for.
So there was a secondary version to this one too. That King Richard, one of the King Richards, it might be the same one. That he had a cannon that he named Humpty Dumpty, and it sat on a wall. And then one day it was just too heavy that it collapsed under, and it like killed like other knights and horses. So when they tried to put it back on the wall, it was too heavy, so it just kind of sat there. So it was like this big ass loose cannon.
Yeah, I don't buy that one because
they got the cannon up there in the first place.
yeah.
I don't know.
And his
Listen.
horse was named Wall.
Yeah.
And he was called Humpty Dumpty in history. That's what the peasants named him.
And that's
to make fun of him.
that version, the one Becky was talking about. You have to assume that they couldn't get up there in the first place because it was too heavy and it was already up there. So if
Yeah.
they've already done it, they know how to do it, which means they could probably do it again.
Yeah.
Harry Potter exists in England, so maybe they got it up there by magic.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm just
You
saying.
know, we've got, the tree picked it up.
Yes, the tree did.
Or maybe the tree threw the fucking thing at him.
I just want to know why you would name a cannon Humpty Dumpty in the first place. Like, are you that like bored? You're like, yo, today I'm going to name it Humpty Dumpty.
Well,
like,
think about it. Richard had a hump, and he was very dumpy. He was Humpty Dumpty.
poor guy.
but a lot of these,
What an awful nickname.
well, with a lot of these, they're not meant to be, or we don't think about them logically. So, like when you think about Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. A1, there are no wells at the top of hills. Water's at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
But you
Right.
do walk up a hill to the executioner's block.
Yes.
And did the guillotine.
So, like, I keep thinking about stuff like that, and you're like, no one builds a well at the top of a hill. You build it at the low point because that's where the water is going
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
So what were they fetching up there? Death. They were
Yeah.
fetching death.
Yeah. And when his crown fell down,
Yep. Jill
Bells
came tumbling after.
Yeah. There's another, well, getting back to the darker side of English nursery rhymes, the Muffin Man. And Bobby, we amused you at the start of the one with this one.
Yes, that's so fucked up. Like it's.
Because do you know the Muffin Man? The
Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
I gotta tell you,
You know what
Shrek
that's-
really brought that one back.
And now I'm sad about Shrek because now the nursery rhymes are in it. Like, oh, this actually isn't anything close to
Okay,
it.
Disney and Pixar have never been wholesome to begin
Well, and
with.
think about the gingerbread man's getting tortured. His legs
Yeah.
are getting
Yeah.
cut off.
The milk shit too.
And
Yeah.
you remember what the Muffin Man was called? The Dicer, the Drury Lane Dicer. And
Yeah.
he's getting diced up. Like, it's so clever.
Yeah.
Gives me greater appreciation for it.
Well, I wonder too if they, even if they didn't do it on purpose, if it's not subconscious because
Yeah.
these are the stories. Like,
Well, just so everybody knows, the Muffin Man was the
Real person.
first English serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
His
he,
name was Frederick Thomas Linwood. And he was known as the Drury Lane Dicer. And who did he target, Becky?
children
Children.
the babies.
And how do you lure in children, even
with
today?
muffins.
Sweets. Would you like a muffin?
Gingerbread house, huh?
Yeah, because he was a baker on Drury
I wish
Lane.
people could see your face as you're trying to reenact these
Would
things.
you like a muffin? Oh, and would you
I'll-
like a muffin?
I like your,
Yeah.
also with your British.
Yeah, you're like aggressive,
Would
not.
thou like a muffin
Oi!
and a crumpet?
You want a biscuit?
Oi!
Get in there!
a biscuit! It's spotted tea.
I hope that Alex listens to this and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong
Bobby's
with
like,
you?"
can we calm down? I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's just like I'm so much like my childhood's like fucked now.
Oh yeah. Well, you know,
Oh.
Bobby, you weren't fucked up to begin with. We're just gonna remind you of all the things. You know what we were talking about doing as a part 2 where we talk about fairy tale origins.
Wait,
Yeah, that's gonna be our next
remember
one.
that
I'd be down. Like,
So we all pick our fairy tales and
Well, and Becky, you mentioned earlier, is it about a women's prison?
the mulberry bush.
The mulberry bush.
We got Wakefield Prison.
Yeah. Here we
Women
go
would
around the mulberry bush.
the women's prison. What you do here, go around the mulberry bush.
Yeah.
It was basically women when they were at the prison, they'd run around the mulberry bush getting exercise. But it was a 19th century prison, so take a wild guess what was happening while they were doing that.
Or are they getting pricked? By the mulberry leaves?
By a penis.
Why are you looking at me like that, Chris?
Women's prisons.
Yes, please. Not for me. I just want to watch the pictures.
Okay.
The moving pictures.
So it's like the old timey Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I think of it as Wentworth.
There you go. Yeah.
It's probably what Wentworth was based on, especially since there really is a bush that they
the
all
actual
pull around.
mulberry bush.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So earlier, Becky, you alluded to the racist ones.
Yeah, I don't like the racist ones. They're bad for you.
We're just going to briefly touch on these.
Yeah, just so you know,
We're
that
not
way
gonna
next time you
grab-
talk about doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo,
Yeah, don't do it.
don't do it. Just be like, I don't know what the
Like,
opposite is.
They're not inherently racist in themselves. It's the wording.
Yeah.
Eeny,
Or
meeny,
the 10 little Indians jumping on the bed.
one fell.
First of all, whether it's Indians or the original words, racist.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Even if you change it to monkeys, racist.
I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, it's an N-word. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It wasn't a tiger to
Yeah.
begin with.
It's grabbing
Yeah.
inward by the toe.
Yeah. Also, there's one that we don't think of as racist, but was very racist. It was used in a lot of blackface minstrel shows. And it was, do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to
Oh
and fro?
fuck.
Unfortunately,
Jesus, yeah.
racist. And then, so you think, well, why was it always in the old ice cream parlors? If it's such a racist song, it still to this day plays on ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
Because the Irish ice cream parlors would play minstrel show music. That's what they played. So this is an incredibly racist song. Don't sing it. Which is unfortunate because I like to grab dogs' ears and be like, do your ears hang low? Do they wobble too? This is the part where I don't mean it racist, and I didn't know it until this research.
Well, not only that, but
Is it racist?
It doesn't have the racist connotation anymore.
Or the intent
They may
anymore.
have intended it to be racist back then,
Yeah.
but it is not anymore.
Right.
So I look at it like calling African Americans or black people colored. The NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. They don't intend it as a racist or derogatory term.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use it that way, it is. So it's all about, I think it's a lot with intent.
Intent.
Like, they're not a racist organization, but if, I don't have a grandpa left, but if my grandpa decided to yell at a colored gentleman, I'm going to assume he means it in a not great way.
Right.
Like,
Well, and going back to Disney, when you watch Dumbo, I never did. My mama wouldn't let me watch it because she said
Dumbo creeped me out.
this is a racist. Even as a kid, she wouldn't let me watch this.
sure.
And then as I got older, I realized it's because they're incredibly racist. Like the blackbirds working, and like we're going to spend
the
all our money
magpies
the
or whatever.
second we get it. Like it's racist.
The,
Heckle and Jekyll.
yeah, there they go.
Jimmy Crackcorn's another racist one.
Oh yeah, but I don't care.
Ah.
Oh, my master's got. Oh,
Yes.
didn't think about that one.
As I was saying, a lot of them had the word master in them.
My master's gone away. Jimmy Crackcorn. I wonder what cracking corn means. It probably means something.
I mean, it's probably taking the kernel off of the actual stalk,
Yeah.
like actually separating it from the stalk.
Yeah, because there's that cracking noise when you
But why
shuck
wouldn't you
it
care
and
if
stuff
the
too.
master's gone away? Jimmy Crackcorn, I don't care. The master's gone away. Like, there's another whole lyric, but I forgot it now.
No idea.
I think-
Dang, we really...
Is there any wholesome ones other than row, row, row your boat?
A little
None
Miss
of them
Muffet,
sound...
maybe.
Sat on it.
No.
No, that one's not either.
No.
Apparently, back in the day, what they would do is women who were like super sick, what they would do is they think that spiders would help cure them, so they would make women swallow spiders.
Oh God, no! Why?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
We used to do
So
some
fucked up.
Yeah, we used to do some fucked up shit to ladies.
Yeah, well, we still do.
Not quite the same.
Not us, but like other countries do.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of if there's any that. Nope, not that one. We just went over that
Well,
one.
and
Nope.
also
Twinkle, Twinkle.
about the Little Miss
Yeah,
Muffet
Twinkle Twinkle.
sat on a tuffet. I had heard something else about that it was an old rhyme for Little Miss Muffet being a woman of the night. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. A tuffet.
way.
Yeah.
And why was that?
Because she sat on his face, he was eating curds way. Do I need to be
Because
clear?
she was a woman of the night.
She's a woman of the night.
Dang.
Spider
Along
being
came a
the
spider
wife came home.
And sat down beside her. And oh shit, that would
Right?
suck.
Miss Muffet away.
You'd be like, hey, and then it's like, "What's you doing, my man?"
Well, in that case, you shouldn't get mad at the prostitute. It's the man's fault. She's just trying to make him live.
I'm thinking the
Yeah.
only one I can think of that may be wholesome is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Because it's pretty much up above the world so high like a diamond in the sky. If you fuck that up somehow, world,
I think that one's probably
that has to just be...
And that seems
Those
more
lyrics
recent.
are probably changed.
Twinkle,
If we go back and look that up, it's
twinkle,
probably...
I bet that one's probably
Twinkle,
pretty
twinkle, little girl.
new. No, that one seems like it's probably more 20th century and probably
Yeah.
just something to sing.
Yeah. Well, I hope we've ruined your childhood.
We're gonna-
sufficiently ruined.
We're going to ruin it more next week.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
going to ruin it some more. I'm enjoying the dark origin stuff. Everybody pick your favorite. We're going to tell the story, and then we're going to tell the real story.
Already got mine.
And
Oh, actually, yeah, we probably need to go around who's going to do what.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
Bobby.
figure out one of them. I'm not awake right now. Jack and the Beanstalk.
Sure.
Okay,
Something
sure.
fucked up with that. Yeah, I'll do Jack and the
Okay.
Beanstalk.
Hansel and Gretel.
No, I was gonna. Oh,
Yeah.
it's your Peeps origins.
Okay, what about you?
Well, I gotta think now because Chris took it.
Sleeping Beauty? Do you want to do Sleeping Beauty?
No, because
Cinderella?
I'll talk about.
No. What
interrupter.
about... You always either did Beauty and the Beast or Little Mermaid. Those were the two that you always were like, those are super fucked up stories.
How did Nice feel, bro?
No, I don't want. Huh?
For the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that breaks my heart. I don't want to do it. Just tell us what you're doing. Let me think.
I kind of want to do Sleeping Beauty, but I like the Little Mermaid one too.
Do Little Mermaid.
I kind of want to ruin Elsa.
Oh, the
Oh,
Ice
the
Queen.
Ice Queen.
Talk
Oh,
about the
that
Ice
one's real
Queen.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do... Which one's... They're both super fucked up. Little Mermaid and Sleeping Beauty.
Cinderella, it's the most fucked up of all.
It really
That one is
is
fucked up too. It's so Snow White. They're all
You know,
fucked
Cinderella,
up.
they cut off all their fucking feet.
Cinderella's the worst by a long way.
I don't know because Sleeping Beauty got pregnant because a guy kept raping her.
Cinderella, they ate her stepmom. And that's not even the worst
After
of it.
they
That's
cut off all their
that's
feet.
just what
I
happens.
think we're just giving a preview. I think I'll just do Little Mermaid.
Boring.
It's been done. I've done it on the podcast.
Okay, fine. I'll do Cinderella.
Yay.
No, going with the whole Ice
It's the
Queen
darkest
thing,
one.
Like, I read that book as a kid, and
Snow
then when I
White
saw
did
that
too.
Disney was adapting, and I was like, how the fuck are you going to make this wholesome? It's
Yeah.
so fucked.
It is.
You just have to let it
it's-
go. I will say, I really, like, Once Upon a Time really fucked it up because it's like, here's Elsa and the Ice Queen, or the Snow, is it the Snow Queen? I think it's
The
the Ice
Snow
Queen.
Queen.
Yeah, the
Ice Queen.
Snow Queen. It's like, they're the same fucking person. You only took Elsa and made it wholesome like you did every other Disney thing.
Well, yeah. Disney can't be like, want to see some people get murdered?
Please. Or maybe do we want to do Peter Pan?
That's more Miramax's thing.
Ooh.
Peter Pan's a naughty one.
Peter Pan goes back to the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
That doll ties
We
in
could do
together.
2 each.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
pick another one.
Yeah, because I'll do,
You can do Peter Pan and tie it into your Pied Piper.
I'll do Cinderella and I'll do Snow White.
Okay.
Jack and the Beanstalk, and how about do like the Three Pigs? That's probably fucked up, right?
Oh,
yeah,
it's fucked
no,
up.
It's serious. It's
Yeah.
also racist.
Oh,
So-
is it? Oh, fuck yeah.
No, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the history of
Yep.
it. It's very
I don't know the history of it.
So
Calm
is
down. I'm going to learn.
Hansel and Gretel also gets
Hansel and
weirdly
Gretel's real
racist.
fucked
It
up.
does, yeah. So I will do the Ice Queen, and I will do. Yeah. Let's do Beauty and the Beast because
Yeah.
that one
It's
was
a good one.
Yeah. that
You
was
I mean,
actually
you
really good.
literally studied it, so that's why I was
Yeah.
like, you know, probably a lot.
And I read it in its original.
I was about to say you
language.
read it in French, so I mean, you probably know a lot more about it than most people
Yeah.
do. So wait, what did I say? Cinderella and Snow White. Those are my 2 favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Little Mermaid's real fucked up too. We'll do a honorable mentions.
Sag.
Yeah, that one's real sad. There was nothing happy about that story.
No.
No.
Oh
No,
my
which one?
God. Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No.
Under
no,
the
no.
sea.
Yeah, Under the Dead.
Under the sea.
Really enjoyed that sea foam.
No, that fucking ending's really sad.
Everything's
Yeah.
better.
Because when I was
down where
a
it's
kid,
wetter.
my
Listen
parents like went to a
me.
garage sale and picked up like a set of like the original, and I read
And
it.
you
I was like,
watched it, yeah.
well, I read it and I was like, wait, this isn't like the Disney one because I was like
Yeah.
in middle school by then. Like, no, this is different. What
You
the
know
fuck?
what's even more wholesome than the Little Mermaid Disney version is Ponyo. Yeah, Ponyo did a really good job, but it's actually really sad too because a fucking
It's
tsunami comes
incredibly
through.
sad.
I mean, all of those like Hans Christian Andersen, Grimm brothers, all those old school fairy tales are all like, what a nightmare.
Actually, I think Angie gave me a book called The Dark Side of the
did.
Fairy Tales, so
It's-
I'm gonna look at it.
All the real ones are all terrifying.
Well, they're supposed to be cautionary tales to kids.
yeah, you're supposed to be
So-
teaching them when you didn't have the written word.
Just like seems like nursery rhymes are like political statements.
Yeah. Like, here's a quick snatch of a political statement, and then fairy tales are like, here are your cautionary tales, kids. Don't fuck up.
Yeah, they will cut your head off.
Woo, I'm so
I
excited.
promise. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ain't never had a friend like me.
That's the most racist one ever.
Oh, the Jungle. That's the Jungle Book, right?
I want to
Yeah.
be a man or be like man. And he's all minstrelling it up and singing around. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stop.
oh.
Stop.
Oh yeah.
Walk like.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Well, that's the Bengals, but that's a whole different
You
thing.
know, that's my other fairy tale I was thinking of.
Listen, I'm tired of your people coming into every one of our podcasts.
Sick of it.
You leave the Middle Easterners alone.
She was already over there, Dirk.
Yeah, I know.
So, guys,
You gotta show you, Chris, by the way, the picture of your dad later.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Hey, guys, you can find us on Facebook at the Free Rotation Podcast.
Bobby's gotta ask you first. He decides when it's over.
No.
Apparently.
No, I'm just fucking not thinking right now.
Bobby's a sleepy boy.
I am, sorry. I wish I'd drinking more coffee. But hey, Becky, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook at the Free Rotation Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the Free Rotation. We're also on YouTube and Twitch at the Free Rotation. You can check out all the great content over there. You can also check us out at Weeby Geeks. We are affiliates of Weeby Geeks. Check us out at WeebyGeeksPC.com, and you can find our backlog at thefreerotation.com. Boop 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 boop.
Row, row, row your boat.
Row,
gently
row,
down the
row your
stream.
boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row,
God.
row your boat. Every